Do you like a little chaos in your role-playing games? How about a lot of chaos in your role-playing games? Then today's review is going to be your jam as I bring the chaos in this review of Media Lab's book's newest resource, the Game Master's Deck of Boons and Banes. Hey Dice Rollers, Paul here, and I'll be your DM for a while. And if you're new to the channel, thanks for checking it out. My goal here is to help new GMs run epic role-playing games with tips, ideas, and reviews just like this one. I was in Target the other day picking up something for my wife, and when I'm in Target, I like to peruse the book and game section to see if there's any new or on sale role-playing game stuff. And today, when I looked, I found this on one of the end caps. And when I saw the name Media Lab Books, I immediately thought this has got to be a quality product because I own all the other Media Lab books, the Game Master's book series. And if you're interested in any of those, I'm going to put a link at the end of this video. You can check out all my reviews about these books, and they are fantastic. And let me say, I occasionally get books from Media Lab to give away here on the channel, but this resource I purchased with my very own money. So there is no sponsorship involved. Also, I am not a Ginny D super fan. She did not approach me to do the review, and in fact, I'm not even subscribed to her channel. Not because of any other reason, other than the fact that it's just not my kind of content. But I will put a link to her channel in the description. In fact, when I picked this up, I didn't even see Ginny D's name on it. And it didn't matter because it was published by Media Lab Games, and they have always put out quality products, and this one's no different. That being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the Game Master's Deck of Boons and Banes. All right, so here we have the Game Master's Deck of Boons and Banes, 40 game-changing, character-shifting cards, and a companion book for 5th edition RPG adventures, created by Ginny D, illustrations by Tim Foley. Now, if you're getting Deck of Many Thing vibes, well, you should, because that's kind of the vibe here. I mean, it's made to have these epic changing things happen to your character or happen to your adventure. And so listen, if you don't want crazy nonsense happening in your game, this is not a tool for you. Don't use this, especially if you're a new GM and you don't want to throw chaos right there in the middle of everything, then don't use it. If you're ready, if your campaign is a bit sluggish, then maybe something like this will be helpful to you. But talking about Deck of Many Things, if you're interested, I made my own little Deck of Many Things. If you don't want to pay those high Wizards of the Coast prices for such a thing, well, I made my own little deck there. You can check that out. I have a video at the end of this video that shows you how to make them using Canva. We're not talking about that. We're talking about this. So if you open this up, you can hear this little clack here. And I like that kind of feature on these types of products. It just kind of, gives it that magnetic feel, like it kind of shuts itself. And so when you open it up, you have the Boons and Banes guidebook, and then you have all the cards in here. Now, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to go through one or two cards, one Boon, one Bane, and show you those, and then I'll kind of flip through the cards a little bit and give you a little preview of them. But let me go ahead and start by showing you the book. Now, the book may be the one negative I have of this, only because it's so small. The print is small. I would have liked if they had like a QR code or something in here that I could get the PDF of this and be able to read it and spread it out, make it a little bit bigger, those kind of things. But at the very beginning here, it gives you some very basic instructions. In fact, it's very small on the beginning part and uses the entire rest of the book to focus on the different cards and what they do. So you can see here, you have all your Boons and all your Banes. And in the deck, I believe it goes, let's see, Boon, Bane, Boon, Bane, right? So, and then it gives you some instructions in here. Let me back up a little bit. So it tells you about what the deck is, the fact that the deck is a physical artifact. You can put it in your game in any amount of ways you want to. You can find one card or two cards at a time. You can go hunting for them. You can find the whole deck, however you choose to do it. The deck is also a side quest generator, and we'll look at that when we look at the various cards. And then I'll show you that the cards have a couple of multiple uses to it. And Ginny also reminds you, say, look, if this deck is meant to inspire, it's not supposed to be balanced, she says, right? So listen, if you don't want your heroes, your characters to have these epic things, whether they be terrible or whether they be good or these fantastical abilities, then you probably don't want to use this resource. So let's take a look at the first card here. And the first card is Air Affinity. So you can see there. Now, it gets into the explanation. It says, the wind is your ever-present companion, lifting your steps and making you as buoyant as the clouds. This is not merely a passive connection. Instead, the air acts as your ally, heeding your call and even obeying your commands. Then it goes into what you can do. When you fall, the wind buffets you and softens your descent, making you immune to damage from falls of less than 100 feet. You can also cast Fly on yourself once per long rest without requiring concentration. See, that's pretty epic. That's a high level ability there. You may not want to use this in your first level campaign. At your behest, strong gusts clear your path, pushing away those who might threaten you. You can use an action to generate a vortex with a 10-foot radius centered on you. Any hostile creature caught in the vortex must succeed on a dexterity saving throw. The DC is equal to your spellcasting modifier, or 12 plus your proficiency bonus, whichever is higher. On a failed save, they suffer 2d8 force damage and are pushed 10 feet from you. The vortex dissipates at the end of your turn. You can use this ability a number of times equal to your proficiency modifier per long rest. And then it gives you a scaling down option, which I think is nice. It says, hey, you don't have to give them the whole tamale here. You can scale it down. Until level 10, the radius of the vortex is reduced to 5 feet. All other benefits still apply. And of course, you can scale it down even more if you want to. And then there's the side quests. So let's say one of your characters finds the card or draws the card. It is said that eons ago, the legendary North Wind was trapped in a crystal called the Galestone and hidden atop the Wind Whisper Cliffs. One who scales the treacherous cliffs and fights past the air elementals that guard them may free the captive wind, gaining the air affinity boon. The second side quest you can offer is the floating city of Cloudreach is held aloft by a mysterious arcane engine that has begun to fail. Its creators are long dead, but their research and an angry cloud giant lives in a walled-off laboratory below the city. Locating their logbooks may allow you to save the city and gain the air affinity boon. Now, listen, you don't have to find the whole deck, okay? Let me just take a break here and show you some of the art here. And I'll pull this card out because that's our Bane card. That's what we're going to look at next. But look at some of this great art here from Tim Foley. And Tim Foley, I'll put his link down below. It's timfoleyillustration.com. But this is some really, really nice artwork. I really, really like it. It is evocative, it's colorful, it's a little bit old school, and it's the kind of deck I would want at the table. And there are 40 cards, there's 20 boons, 20 banes, and I think these are beautiful looking cards, well done, well crafted. You can see on the back here, it just has the boon being on top, bane being on the bottom there. And I think all of these cards can inspire you in some way, even if it's not for your in-game use. If you don't want to use it that way, I think you can use this maybe as an oracle. Maybe you'd want to go ahead and just flip out a card and say, oh, I think this would be kind of cool. Let's go ahead and use that as a side quest. Or you can use it for your game. Let's say if a character does something really cool and their deity says, hey, good job, here's a boon for you, Mr. Cleric. Or let's say you're necromancer. Well, they do something pretty dumb and the necromancer's patron says that's pretty dumb. You did a dumb thing, you're going to have to take a bane. And they would just draw from the bane card. But once again, you can use these cards as you choose to and make the game what you want to make it. So let's go and stack those there. And let's go over here to the Bane card. And this is Antagonistic Aura. So let's go back to the book, take a look here in Antagonistic Aura. Antagonist Aura says, lately, no matter what you say or do, people just don't seem to like you very much. In fact, your very presence tends to upset them. When you interact socially with others, they are more likely to disagree with you, mistrust you, or interpret your statements as rude or antagonizing. You have disadvantage on all charisma checks. If the result of your charisma check is 5 or lower, the target or targets become hostile towards you. Even your adversaries in combat who are already hostile to your party are more inclined to target you than your allies. When a hostile creature that can see you attempts to attack a creature other than you, it must succeed on a DC 14 Wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, it's overwhelmed by its ire toward you and decides to attack you instead. As you can see here, the scaling down feature. Until level 10, low charisma checks do not make the target hostile. Reduce the DC for a wisdom saving throw in combat to 11. all other penalties still apply. Now, I can see this being used for a magic weapon. I think this would be a fun Bane for a magic weapon, or a curse that says, look, this weapon that you have doesn't like you. In fact, it hates you. It doesn't want to attack for you. You have to roll like a strength check in order to control it and hit with it. Something like that. That would be kind of fun. But here's the side quest. First one is to banish the Bane, you must perform a ritual on land where someone was slain by one they considered a friend. Here, speak praise for each other of your companions, offering each a gift. This draws the antagonistic aura from you in the form of a Vrock. Kill it to eliminate the aura permanently. And the second side quest idea is to transfer the Bane to another person, anoint any blade with the blood of a person who trusts you, whether through a persuasive rhetoric or deceit, that's good role play there. Cause your target to argue in anger with a friend or loved one while holding or carrying this blade. The bearer of this blade becomes the new subject of the antagonistic aura. Now, I can see how some of you might say, well, that's kind of annoying, Paul. Yeah, it is kind of annoying, but I think it adds to the role play, and I think role play is one of the 3 pillars of role-playing games, and so I think this gives you an opportunity to do some fun role play, and as you can see, the rest of the book, all the cards are in there, you can see, and those are the 2 cards that I chose to do. I did the Air Affinity and the Antagonistic Aura. So tell me down in the comments, which are you more prone to do? Or would you want to give more of a boon to your characters or a Bane? All right, so that is the Game Master's deck of boons and banes. Let me know, what did you think about it? What do you think about the artwork? How much chaos do you like in your game? Is this a resource you would use at your table? Leave me some comments down below, cause a little chaos down there. And once again, if you're brand new here to the channel, thank you so much for being here. If you like videos like this, well, go ahead and click the subscribe button and you'll get videos like this at least once a week. And if you really like the video, and you're a regular, of course, be sure to go and click that thumbs up button that tells me you like the video and you want more of them. And don't forget, I mentioned earlier about some videos you might want to watch. Well, here's a whole bunch of videos on those Game Master series books. If you're interested in checking those out, there'll be links down below, by the way, if you would like to purchase those books. And here's that video of how I made my own deck of many things and avoided those high prices of those other companies who want to sell those to you. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.